Hi again. Thanks for joining today's call. This is Ece. I'm head of growth and marketing at Cenoa. Today, we are here for our very first live Q&A session with our co-CEOs and co-founders, Emre and Seçkin. In June this year, Cenoa made a really strong entrance into the Nigerian market, exceeding 50,000 signups and 5,000 depositors only in a month. And today, only after 6 months, 150,000 Nigerians are using Cenoa, and more than 2,000 of them are actively investing. So first of all, a huge thanks for the warm welcome into the Nigerian market. We are so happy to see that. And why we are here today, as a marketing person, I personally spend a lot of time on social media, and I saw some common questions and comments coming from you. And I thought the best people to answer those questions are, of course, our CEOs. So I forced them to be here today. Of course, I'm kidding. So I'll start with asking the common questions that I see a lot of time on Facebook, Instagram, and also on the support channels, and also on the registration form for this specific event. And this will take approximately 30 minutes. Then we'll open the floor to your live questions for another 30 minutes. So in total, we'll be together around an hour or so. So please add your questions to the Q&A session. And also keep in mind that you can vote on each other's questions. So at the end, we'll start with the most upvoted questions and try answering all of them as long as time permits. And if your question remains unanswered during the session, don't worry. We'll definitely reach out to you via email or phone to answer your questions after the session. Also, please keep in mind that we have some gifts at the end. There's going to be a lottery among the audience, and the luckiest one will get $20 in their Cenoa accounts. So please stay till the end. So let's start with getting to know Emre and Seçkin first, right? Seçkin, let's start with you. Can you tell us about yourself to begin with?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Ece. Thanks for organizing this webinar. It's great to have a chance to interact with our users and answer their questions. As you said, my name is Seçkin Çağlan. I am one of the co-founders of Cenoa. There are 4 of us, me, Emre, and Bora. And I'm co-CEO with Emre at Cenoa. And my background, I am a computer scientist by education, but actually I spent all my career in fintech and banking. I spent the past more than 15 years in building and growing financial brands and products around the world. We've been working on Cenoa for like 2 years now with Emre. Before that, I spent close to 5 years in one of the biggest fintechs, one of the biggest card businesses in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I was leading the card businesses there with more than 25 million cards and 4 billion transactions a year. So we were helping people with prepaid cards, debit cards, credit cards for businesses, consumers, all different types. And before that, I spent 8 years at a company called McKinsey. I was a consultant to banks, financial institutions, and fintechs all around the world to, again, build their strategy, build their financial products, and grow them from trillion-dollar big banks in New York to small fintech startups in emerging markets. So my experience in that sense was very diverse. And we are super excited to be here and super excited about what Cenoa is building.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for being here again. Emre, would you like to continue?
Yes, thanks, Ece. Again, as you said, this is our first webinar, so we are all very excited. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being here and listening to our story, our journey, which we are very passionate about. Well, as Seçkin said, I'm also one of the co-founders at Cenoa. and also co-CEO with Seçkin. We started Cenoa about 2 years ago, but Seçkin and I actually, our friendship actually goes way beyond. We met at Stanford. Actually, we studied together. We were classmates, and since then, it was actually more than 10 years ago. Since then, we remained close.
Now they know our age.
Yeah. Yes, and since then we kept brainstorming different ideas and following different technological trends, and eventually saw a huge problem in inflation, and that's how actually we ended up starting Cenoa together with a great team actually all together. And before Cenoa, I was at a company called Getir. It's an ultra fast delivery company based in Turkey, but have also offices in Europe and in US, valued around $12 billion, backed by Sequoia Capital and some top investors all around the world. I was chief product officer there, started their product management team actually from the scratch. I also ended up leading their engineering team. I was CTO and leading engineering, product, and design teams. And during my tenure there, we grew about 20x, both in customer numbers, in valuation, as well as employees. So it was definitely a fun ride. And we also expanded about 10 countries. So definitely, this is not my first global business, let's put it this way. And before Cenoa, I was in Silicon Valley, studied at Stanford, and spent about 10 years working in high growth technology companies, mostly had product and engineering leadership roles, and the companies like Zoom, Slice, Unroll.me, etc. And I also actually, this is also not my first company. For startup, I also had 2 other VC-backed companies before. So long story short, for the last 16 years or so, I've been launching products and leading product and technology teams, both in big companies like Nokia, Getir, etc., as well as small startups and fast-growing startups like my own companies or other startups. But this is definitely, Cenoa is definitely the most passionate I am about and the most excited I am about, because we are, I think Seçkin will answer more to that, but we are definitely working on a huge problem that affects millions of people around the world. So we are so excited to solving this problem together.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing your stories. And now let's continue with Cenoa. So in simple terms, we know that Cenoa is a zero-fee digital dollar account for everyone, that you can buy dollars, send dollars, and grow dollars. Seçkin, let's start with you. What problem is Cenoa solving?
Great question, Ece. And Emre mentioned a little bit, but we are very passionate about what we are building, and we are very purpose-driven and mission-driven. And our mission at Cenoa is to democratize access to inflation resistance, financial security, and wealth growth for everyone around the world. Because ultimately, our purpose here is to enable people to rise above inflation and reach their dreams. Because there is one core ideal behind Cenoa, and actually it's the same core ideal behind Human Rights Declaration, right? Every human being deserves to live in dignity, and every human being deserves to pursue hopes, dreams, and goals. And today, there is one huge enemy that is holding back billions of people from that ideal. And it's called inflation and currency devaluation. And maybe it has other names as well. Inflation attacks people's dignity because essentially it steals the hard-earned money from people's pockets, right? You work hard for your money, and some of it is stolen overnight, thanks to inflation. Second, inflation attacks people's dreams and goals because it steals their progress. Like, you think you progress towards a goal, and 30 days later, you realize you are back to square one, thanks to inflation again. And unfortunately, this is not a small problem. This is a problem billions of people are facing. Like inflation is higher than 50% or even 100% per year in many countries like Nigeria, Egypt, Turkey, Argentina, and the list goes on. And for decades and generations, we saw its huge impact on people around the world, including ourselves growing up and on a daily basis. So inflation is more than just a number. I can give a couple of examples. The price of food suddenly increases, and then a parent who has been saving for months to start a small business now needs to spend that saving to feed their family because prices increase. And the price of gas suddenly increases, and a taxi driver who worked all day loses all his earnings because now he cannot even replace the gas he consumed during the day, let alone making a profit. Or the price of rent suddenly increases, a parent needs to take a second job, starting to work 15 hours a day. Now he can't see his children most of the month. Or the price of university tuition suddenly goes up. A young kid gives up their dream to go to their dream school, or their parent gives up the dream to buy that house. Or retirement, like there are people who work 40 years for retirement, suddenly price goes up, or the currency collapses, local currency, and they have to go back to work. And this is happening to millions and billions of people, and this has been happening for decades and generations, and we have seen this firsthand. And unfortunately, this is a huge problem, but there are not many tools to fight the inflation problem. The US dollar is the most popular and the most stable tool around the world, but the system in many countries makes it very difficult and very expensive to use that tool. First, buying dollars is very difficult, sometimes impossible. You go to the bank to buy dollars, many times they say no, they put limits, there is bureaucracy, but oftentimes they say no, there are no dollars. If you are lucky to buy those dollars, when you go back and withdraw your dollars, it's again very difficult, sometimes impossible. A lot of times banks say, sorry, we don't have dollars, come back later. Or they say they make you go through paperwork. And third, both of those activities are very, very expensive. Like in Turkey, it costs up to $10% just to buy and sell the dollar. In Nigeria, even up to 30%. You buy dollars in the open market for 1,100 naira. You put it in the bank for safety. And a month later, you need your dollars. You have to sell at the central bank rates, which is around 750. So you just lose 30%. You were trying to protect your money using dollar, but they cost you 30%. And this was just buying and selling dollars, but it's the same for other transaction types. Growing your dollars, sending your dollars to your family or friends in the same city or around the world, or spending your dollars. They're all very, very difficult, sometimes impossible, and they're all expensive. And to go back to the beginning, that's why we started Cenoa, and that's why our mission is to democratize access to inflation resistance, financial security, and wealth growth. And we started with US dollars on that.
Yeah, amazing. It's a huge problem to solve and it's impacting billions. So Emre, can you please explain a bit more on how Cenoa solves this problem?
Sure. Well, at Cenoa, we always like to say, old ways won't open new doors. And we are here to revolutionize the finance, protecting our users from inflation, devaluation, financial inequality by using new cutting-edge technologies. So our users can focus on their lives, their families, goals, and future. And technology is the driving force behind Cenoa. And with Cenoa, for instance, you can buy dollars in under 5 minutes using just your smartphone with no fees, no commissions, no hidden costs, etc. And we offer real exchange rates 24/7. So you can actually do these transactions anytime. And then you can send or receive money internationally for free. That's been also a big problem for many people around the world, especially in the emerging economies. And also, I think, last but not least, maybe the more important thing, you can earn an inflation-resistant yield to protect your purchasing power. And really, that means to protect you from inflation. because in countries like Turkey, Nigeria, etc., the inflation keeps getting worse, and it actually decreases your purchasing power, and this is a way to actually protect it. And these are only possible in new technology. That's why our goal is to reinvent solutions for millions of people that traditional banks haven't offered for decades.
Okay, amazing. I think there's a hand I can see. Actually, it would be great if you can put the questions under the Q&A part. We'll come to them at the end. But if you have something to share right now, you can go ahead. Would you like to share something right now? Okay, I guess no. If yes, you can unmute yourself and talk. Then I'll continue with the next question. And this one comes to Seçkin. That's the question that I see a lot on social media. You know, Cenoa is cost-free and also 5% yield is available. And I know that some people might think that it is too good to be true. So how does Cenoa make money?
That's a great question, and it's a fair question as well. As we said, like our mission is to democratize access to all these great products, right? Inflation resistance, stable currencies, US dollars, etc. And we want everybody to be able to access these benefits and privileges and products all around the world, not just people in Europe and United States, but everyone around the world. And that's why we try to remove all the frictions as much as possible, as Emre mentioned. And the huge fees and low yields was a big part of that barrier. It was high friction. It was blocking people from accessing these accounts. So we very consciously decided that we will decrease the costs as much as possible, and we will pass on those savings to the people as much as possible. And right now, luckily, we can offer dollar accounts for free, the transactions for free, and we can offer the 5% yield. And there are three things that made this possible. One, we prioritize efficiency over size. Like banks have costly branches, thousands of employees, expensive advertising with a lot of celebrities. We don't have any of those. Cenoa is a small team, but very efficient. We don't have branches. We don't use celebrities. We don't do expensive advertising. And we hire a core team, a small team, but very talented top team around the world, like great companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Emre Seçkin, people who went to best schools in the world like Stanford. And second, we use modern technology. Like we use technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence that help decrease transaction costs up to 100 times. An example, like sending dollars within Istanbul or from Istanbul to Lagos can cost more than $30 and will take days. But on blockchain, it just costs 1 second and 1 cent. So it's 300 times more efficient. And third is we prioritize users over profits, meaning the US Central Bank, also called Fed or Federal Reserve, they offer 5.5% yield to all depositors, banks or consumers. Banks in US give less than 0.5% to their users and they keep 5%. So they deposit consumers' money to the central bank, they get 5.5% yield, they keep the 5 and they share only the 0.5. That's why they are making trillions of dollars of profits. We believe that's not fair. We only keep 0.5%, which is 10 times less than banks, to pay for the costs. All these dollar accounts transactions are free because we have the 0.5% covering those costs. And we pass the 5% to our users again, because that's our mission. We want to democratize access to inflation-resistant products.
Yeah, that's amazing to learn, actually. So Cenoa is somehow giving people what they deserve in opposed to what the system is providing them, so far. Very interesting and good to know. And Emre, I also see a lot of questions and concerns around trust. So, in your opinion, why should people trust Cenoa? A tough one, I know.
Yes, that's that's a very important topic because at Cenoa we are aware that our users work hard to earn their money, and that's why we are working even harder to protect it. And that's also why we built our technology on blockchain. And now that actually after months, we are seeing that more than 150,000 users and more than 20,000 investors show that we are on the right track. And we work relentlessly for our users, and our users also trust us. And then we just like basically simply keep our promises. And a few things to allow us that security is, first of all, our team. Our system is built by leading experts in cybersecurity, that people who have worked at Facebook, Google before, or national defense companies before, etc. So definitely highest level security and with the biggest systems that they work. And our investors, we are funded by top global VCs like Quiet VC or Underscore VC, who also back up global fintech unicorns like Robinhood, Coinbase, Charm, etc. So their trust in us is very valuable, and that also shows that our accountability. And we also get audited by industry leaders regularly. So our system is audited by CertiK, and CertiK is actually audited like more than $300 billion and more than 3,000 projects so far, and we are one of them. And we only work with best-in-class partners. For instance, we work with Transact, which is a UK Financial Conduct Authority licensed fintech that connects Cenoa with local banking systems. Or in Nigeria, we work companies like Paychant, PhoneBank, CoinProfile, etc. And then we only work with the best partners to actually ensure our trust. And last but not least, we are actually honored to be part of MasterCard's StartPath blockchain program. And we were chosen as one of the 7 fintech companies globally. And the bar was really high to be chosen. So even being part of that program was a strong sign of Cenoa's trustability. And it's a global brand, and they did all their audits, all their checks, all their controls, and eventually they chose us to be one of the 7 companies. And I also mentioned in the beginning about blockchain technologies, and blockchain technology is also meant to be safe and transparent, etc. So that's the other advantage that we have over other companies.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for the comprehensive answer. And I remember when we learned that we were part of MasterCard program, it was such a big proud moment for the whole team. Thanks for sharing that. And Seçkin, let's continue with you. Since Cenoa is a new player in the finance industry, people are questioning about the regulations, and they rightfully compare it to banks. And they also wonder if it is regulated by CBN or any other authorities. Can you please explain that part for all of us?
Of course, it's an important question, and we get that a lot. As mentioned a bit earlier, we are offering cutting-edge products, like really revolutionary products, and we are using modern technologies like blockchain to make things cheaper, faster, more accessible to everyone, and more global meaning. And the example I just gave was like you can send dollars anywhere in the world in a second for 0 fees because it costs us less than 1 cent. That's thanks to blockchain. And everybody in the world can access Cenoa, unlike any bank, any financial institutions, where you can operate only in one country. And you can transact with anyone around the world. Like I can send money to anyone around the world, and they can just sign up to Cenoa and receive it. So this is very breakthrough because we use all these modern technologies. And this makes Cenoa a global software company, a technology company. I say that because the governments and regulation categorize us and regulate us as a software company, as a technology company, and we comply with the regulations accordingly. They don't classify us as a finance industry member. They don't classify us as a bank. They don't classify as a financial institution. And we don't claim to be a bank or financial institutions. We claim to be a tech company or software company. This might get a little confusing because it's very innovative, but I can give some examples. Like, think about WhatsApp. WhatsApp reinvented communication and telecom industry, but it's not a local telecom operator. It's not regulated or licensed like that. It's a global software company, like billions of people use it to communicate, but it's different from local telco like we have in Turkey, Turkcell or MTN in Nigeria, because it uses different technologies and government classifies them separately. Or Twitter. It reinvented news and publishing industry, but it's not regulated like a TV channel or newspaper company by governments. It's a global software provider because governments choose to do so. And Cenoa's case is similar. It uses modern new technologies like blockchain and AI, and governments, they classify and regulate us as a software company, and we comply with all the regulations accordingly. But similar to WhatsApp or Twitter, countries and governments, they don't require us to get licenses with every central bank in each country. It's because it's just regulation. They don't ask us to do so. So we are not a bank, but that's actually a good thing for our users. As I said, we can offer all these cheap, more efficient global products thanks to that. And one final note, we have partners in each country that allow our users to connect their local bank accounts, local currencies to Cenoa to get digital dollars. And those local players, they are usually counted as financial players, and they are regulated and licensed accordingly. Like we have Transac in Europe. They have a license from United Kingdom Financial Conduct Authority. We have Paychan, CoinProfile, Payors, and Phonbank in Nigeria and other African countries. They comply with all the regulations, etc. So, long story short, we comply to all the regulations, but we are not a bank. We are a software company like WhatsApp or Twitter, and it helps us to offer all these revolutionary products and benefits to our customers. Because if Emre and we just started a bank, we will be just another bank. Like, it will come with all the costs, all the outdated infrastructure. We wouldn't be able to offer something that's 100 times better.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing this. So in one sentence, I think Cenoa is not a bank, but that's the good thing, right? There's so many advantages coming with it. So there are many more questions on social media and other platforms, but we already spent 30 minutes on them. So I really want to move to the Q&A section on this meeting. So the first question is, do you plan to have a card so people can spend in dollars? Emre, would you like to answer this one?
Yes, I mean, that's definitely in our roadmap, and we are actually working on it. Just stay tuned, and we will actually probably first add a wait list for that, because we know that there's a lot of demand. So just like keep an eye on the wait list on the product. It's we're gonna start actually collecting demand from the wait list soon. So just keep an eye on that. And yes, that's on our product roadmap. And the short answer is yes, we are working on it.
Amazing. And that's something that I also see a lot on social media. I'm really looking forward to having it. And Seçkin, the next one is for you. Can I recover a
Sure.
coin sent to a wrong wallet address?
Wrong wallet address. So that's a great question. In our user interface, we do our best to build a user-friendly and safe and secure experience. Meaning like when you are sending money to someone, we ask for their phone number. So you know when I'm sending money to Emre, I'm sending it to Emre. We are not asking for account numbers like bank account numbers or blockchain account numbers. We just use something very safe and easy like phone numbers. And when you are depositing or withdrawing, we connect you with your local fintech. So you can use the bank account there, which is again safe and easy to choose. And when you make a mistake, it's easy to recover. But there is one use case, like if you are, since we operate on blockchain, if you are a crypto native person, very professional, you know how to use crypto, so you are like 1% of the global world population, you can deposit and withdraw money using blockchain addresses like from Binance or other wallets. We don't expect a lot of people to use it, but some users use it. But that requires professionalism. That's why it's not the default user experience, but our professional or pro users can use it. And it comes with benefits, but also a challenge, meaning the security and safety of blockchain means there is no recourse. Like transactions cannot be rolled backwards. And if you send the money on blockchain to the wrong address, there is no way to recover in that sense. That's why we don't expect our everyday users to use it, and it's not the default user experience. But if you're a pro using blockchain transactions, just like on Binance or MetaMask or other crypto wallets, you need to be extra careful because it's a feature of the blockchain that it's not recoverable.
AJ, maybe I add like a few sentences. So if you are, as Seçkin said perfectly, and if you are not a crypto expert, and if you are our everyday people that just using our interface, you don't need to worry about it because our app won't lead you anywhere like that. But if you're a crypto expert, then you know what that means. Then yes, like if you send the wrong coin to a wrong wallet address, yes, it's not recoverable. But for our 99% of our users, which are not crypto native, then it shouldn't be a problem because our app guides them in the right direction. But having said that, that's also the beauty of blockchain because it shows us that the control is always in the user. So we can't control users' funds. That also, I think, an element of trust. Even we can't actually do anything about it because we give control right back to our users, which it belongs.
Okay. So I think in simple terms, for non-technical people like me, it is like using your bank account to send money to a wrong bank account, and recovering it is almost impossible in that case as well, right? Can we say that?
The good thing about banking, there is recourse. Yeah, if I send you money in a regular bank account, if it happens on Cenoa, you can call the bank, and there are like dispute mechanisms where you can get your money back if it's a mistake.
But Ece, for you don't have to worry about it because if you just follow the app, then you wouldn't even see a wallet address section to send money because like we actually made the app so easy that like you can just send money to your friend's phone number, so you don't have to deal with it basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I also see some hands. Would you like to put your questions on the Q&A, or do you have something else to add? If yes, you can unmute yourself and ask your question or your comment.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm the one that sending crypto to the wrong wallet. Although I did crypto every day, but what actually happened is that the first time I want to send the money from the Cenoa to that wallet to a brick app is an app being created with one of these things. I sent it from USDC Avalanche wallet from Cenoa to an Avalanche. I don't know that there's a coin called Avalanche also. I sent it into that wallet. Although I can see my crypto on the blockchain. I checked the blockchain. What was it called?
Voice is breaking and it's really hard to hear. Do you mind writing your question? It would be much better for us to understand it and reply it correctly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sorry for that, and thank you. So I think it's better to have the questions in written format, right, for everyone to understand. If it's okay for you, I'll continue with the questions under Q&A. And the next one is, this one is Emre for you. Do you plan to add other digital currencies in the future? Because the current one is causing limited functionalities. There are limited that people can do. I'm summarizing it a bit. So the main question is, do you have plans to add other digital currencies?
I mean, as far as stable coins go, we currently people can actually deposit USDT also, so that should be fine. But currently, as what we are doing is mostly being a digital dollar account. So in our short-term plans, we don't have to add non-stable currencies like Bitcoin, for instance, or in other coins. But if there's a stable coin, yes, we can add. And for instance, we already added USDT, so they can actually our users can come with USDT. In the long term, I mean, the short term, we don't have any plans. In the long term, I mean, Cenoa aims to become the primary financial home for our users. So depending on our users' demands, etc., we might add in the long-term future, but not in the short term.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is, Seçkin, this one is for you. What will happen to our funds if something happens to Cenoa? Again, similar to the missing wallet effects, but I think this is a better case.
It's a great question, and it's a question that I ask myself when I'm trying out new technologies, new products, what is the worst case? In Cenoa's case, we will do our best to keep Cenoa operating, keep Cenoa growing and helping first millions and then billions of people around the world. But the cool thing about the technology we are using is we can give an easy answer to this question, because if we were a bank, a financial institution, or company like Binance, these are companies that hold your funds. It's called custodial. If it's a bank, if it's an exchange, if it's a crypto exchange like Binance, they hold your funds. And if they go bankrupt, if they crash, you cannot get or access your money through another channel. You have to access through them. You have to go to court. The money is there, but money might disappear. The cool thing about Cenoa's technology is it's on blockchain and it's non-custodial, meaning we don't touch your money. Your money is registered to your name and it's on the blockchain in a decentralized manner. We cannot access your money, and you can always access your money with other wallets. So even if Cenoa was going out of operations, people could just take their passwords and add account numbers from Cenoa, download another wallet, and access their money through that channel. So this is, I think, this is something happening first time in the world, thanks to blockchain. For hundreds of years, when you were getting a service, a money service from a company, you were handing over your money to them, and there was no other way to get it. But now we are just a software provider. We don't have your money, so you can always access your money through other wallets. That's something I think the revolutionary aspect of blockchain. It's first time in decades. It's actually quite exciting. I think it helps people trust us. It helps people to start trying out. And it also helps us as Cenoa team to sleep better. When I was at the biggest fintech, as I said, we had 4 billion transactions, more than you can imagine, $100 billion of transactions every year. Whenever there is a macroeconomic shock, you couldn't sleep as better. Like I was part of global BBVA group. They're like 200-year-old global bank. But whenever there is an economic crisis, you are worried that what happens if something happens to the bank? Like I have 40 million users, billions of dollars. Can we pay it back? But in Cenoa, I sleep very soundly because like even if the worst case happens, we will not lose a single dollar of user funds because we don't have it.
Yeah, that's definitely a groundbreaking technology. Thanks for explaining it. Emre, the next one is for you, and I see that one a lot as well. The question is, does Cenoa has US dollars account number? People are asking for an account number or looking for an account number in Cenoa.
So actually, when you think about it, as Seçkin also mentioned, this is not a bank, but better than a bank. And let's also think about like why do you need an account number? So usually you need an account number to transfer money. And at Cenoa, actually you can transfer money just using the phone number. So basically, effectively, from Cenoa users, like from a Cenoa wallet to another Cenoa wallet, practically your account number is also your phone number. And at the same time, like during while people putting money in and out, they will have, especially with our latest integrations, they will have an account number, but that account number is only to deposit money or withdraw money from or in Genoa or Cenoa. So basically, to sum up, the account number for money transfers is from Cenoa to Cenoa account. It's simply their phone number. But the account number for depositing money in or withdrawing money out, there will be an account number, but that's only for that purpose. And then with our latest release, our users should see them in their app.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for clarifying this. This was a confusing piece, actually. And Seçkin, the next one is for you. And the question is, do you have any plans for customers looking to deposit higher amounts? Currently, Cenoa only supports up to $11,000.
Of course, two things. One, even today, if you want to deposit more than that, just let us know in our support channel, and we can help you. We don't offer to everyone, but we can talk to you, understand what you need, and help with that. If needed, we can increase the limit. And in the longer term, of course, the idea is to increase our limits for everyone. Now, we are increasing it in a user basis, trying to understand what they need, etc. But longer term, the account limit will keep increasing.
Okay, good to hear that, and also good that people are looking forward to investing more with Cenoa. And the next one is Emre for you. Cenoa has such a big potential, and thank you for bringing a great app. Thanks for the thoughts, the great insights. And however, I really can't say same about your support. There are tickets and messages unreplied for weeks, which myself figured out how to fix the issue. You should interact with your customers more, especially when they need support. Yeah, that was our reality in the last couple of weeks, unfortunately. I know that it was resolved, but Emre, please explain it a bit more for all of us.
So whoever wrote this question, so thank you. And I completely empathize with you. I completely agree with you. And apologies for support not being up to the expectations. But trust me that like we see in such a huge demand that it actually took us some time to figure out the customer support system. And then, believe me that actually there were times all of us, including myself, including Seçkin, including Ece, all of us actually were just answering customer support tickets. And these are facts. But having said that, at some point there were just like so many customers that even actually more than we expected that came, which is great because there's huge demand, that it took us some time to figure out the customer support. Having said that, now actually we have a much larger support team, and we also built in-house support infrastructure technology to actually answer these tickets more frequently and faster. But having said that, support happens because of like some issues with, let's say, withdraw, deposit, etc. And the good news is we fixed those issues. So especially we know that like withdrawal had some delays in the past, but especially if you update your current app, if you have the latest update in your current app, you should see that the withdrawals are a lot faster now, in just like a few minutes, not hours. And there won't be any issues. And if there are any issues, please reach us. Well, A, we have a much better and much faster support team and support system. B, we should have a lot less problems in withdrawals and deposits.
Yeah, thank you. And from my side, a small note to add. Also, our team, marketing team, is working really hard to reply your questions on social media channels. You can also reach out to us via, comments or direct messages. We're doing our best to help you. I see another question on the USDTs. I'm going to skip that one because Emre already replied to that one. USDTs are available in Cenoa. Let's skip to the next one. Seçkin, this one is for you. What efforts have been made to make the platform accessible to users with varying levels of financial literacy? Because individuals at all levels want to save and build wealth. Good question.
Yeah, great question. I don't want to repeat the mission many times, but it was something around democratizing access for everyone. And we tried to remove all the frictions as much as possible. Like one friction was the price of a dollar account. So our digital dollar account has no account opening fee. The other one, they had a lot of account minimums. Like a lot of banks ask you to deposit $1,000 or more even to open an account. Our minimum is $0 to open. And in withdraw and deposit, I think they're around $3 or $2. So it's very easy to, so we have no account minimums basically. And third, banks make you go through a lot of bureaucratic paperwork to open an account. In Cenoa, it takes like, thanks to blockchain, in seconds you have a digital dollar account with no bureaucracy. So those are a lot of the frictions we removed. Even the money transfer, as Emre said, in a lot of banking apps, you need complicated experiences to transfer your money, like account numbers, IBAN numbers, SWIFT codes, etc. In Cenoa, you just put in the phone number of your friend, even if they live in Nigeria or London, wherever, globally. It goes easy. And the user experience of Cenoa, as we said, we use blockchain infrastructure in many places, but the user experience and the language is super, super simple. And also, we have been publishing some educational content, tips and tricks as well. But as you know, Ece is leading that effort herself. But we are doubling down on that piece as well. We will try to give a lot more tools, knowledge, and information about teaching how people can save more, how can they do budgets, etc. So in short, it's core to our mission to make this accessible to everyone, and we are doing everything we can.
Amazing. And we have many more questions, but let's take the last one. And for the rest of it, we noted all of them. We are going to reach each one of you if you have an unanswered question. So let's continue with the last one. Do you offer a bug bounty program? And if so, how do you ensure that counterparties adhere to best practices? Can we prefer to stay anonymous while reporting a bug? Emre, this is to you, obviously, a technical one.
Yes, the question is yes, and we take this very seriously. And like actually, I can directly write here. Like I can actually write my co-founders, also one of our technical co-founders, email address and my email address. So if you actually send an email to him and my CCing me, we definitely take this very seriously. And as I said before, like a security is paramount for us. So therefore, like if there's any bug that you see, we take them very seriously. And yes, like you can stay anonymous, that we only think that we need to make the payment if there's something that we realized. So yes, and I'm gonna write the email of my co-founder and myself here so that you guys can reach us for bug bounties.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for sharing this. And this was the last question because I want to respect the time. It's almost 1 hour. Thanks for listening and staying till that time. And Seçkin, Emre, thanks for all the open and honest answers. Now we have a very short feedback survey. We are going to share it on the chat. We'd be really happy if you can share your feedback because, as you know, this was our very first Q&A session. If you like it, we can continue doing them on a regular basis, but please share with us what you want to see, what you want to hear from us, and so on. We'd love to be in touch with you and interact with you. And while you're filling the form, as promised in the beginning, we have a small lottery. Now we're gonna do it live on the screen among the ones who are still with us. And the luckiest one will earn $20 from us. Yeah, here is the winner.
Congratulations to the winner.
Yeah, congrats. I love the animation as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Amazing. Enjoy it. So we'll be in touch with you definitely. Tomorrow we'll talk and we'll send it to your Cenoa account.
Perfect.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks to, as I just said, thanks to Cenoa team, but even bigger thanks to our users. Thanks a lot for joining, taking time to listen to us. And as I just said, we would love to get your feedback. Like if this is helpful, we are more than happy to do this on a weekly basis and in a format that works even better. So this was the first one. Thanks for joining. And I think it went okay. I am sure in the next sessions we will improve as we do always. But even for the first session, I think I enjoyed it a lot personally. So I hope also it was helpful to our users.
Yeah, it's great. It's always great to see our users. And Seçkin and I we visited Nigeria a couple of weeks ago, and that was also great to see some familiar faces here. So this is very important for us, and then what we build is really for our users and for you guys. So please let us know how can we do better, and whatever we are doing for you, for our users. So please always keep that in mind, and please always let us know your feedback and your questions and your comments.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening to us and hope to see you again. Please, we are looking forward to hear your feedback and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.